Good afternoon. My name is Ernesto Garcia, and thank you for tuning in once again to the Mesilla Valley News Tresco Works Podcast. We're glad that you're able to join us here today. And once again, this is our before the holiday edition. We will have one. This is our final episode for November as we continue in our journey explaining about what Tresco is doing for our community and how it helps out. And today we have somebody who knows very much about our community. That's Annalisa Martinez. She'll be our guest. She'll be joining us here in just a few moments. But first, we want to take the time to remind you why we're here, what we get to do. And of course, unlike most of the news segments that we do, you don't see the scroll at the bottom. We're not reporting any news stories. What we try to do is instead focus on what's on a journey part of what happens in our community and what is going on. So once again, this segment is also sponsored by our friends over at TrescoInc.org. That's right, Tresco. Who is Tresco? For 53 years, Tresco has been providing professional and individualized services, supports, and opportunities to people with any age with differing abilities, their families, and communities we serve. Tresco provides services in 12 counties throughout New Mexico, 3 main divisions. You have, and I'll go backwards this time, we have Tresco Works, which offers community employment opportunities and people with varying disabilities, including veterans, students, and through federal, state, and local contracts. You also have the Children's Services, which consists of TOTS early intervention and day one home visiting programs. TOTS has been a founding early invention program in Doñana and Sierra County, providing families with babies from birth to age 3. And of course, community support services. In our community, the Community Waiver Program, the CSS, provides participants with the support needed to live meaningful and inclusive lives in the community. Services include 24 hours individualized support in daily routine activities, medical support, nutrition, financial management, transportation, and employment services. As always, one phone call makes a difference. One visit to the website that you're seeing on your screen will always help out as well. TrescoInc.org or call 575-528-2200. That's 575-528-2200. Now, today we're going to be focusing on the Community Service Support Services and its talented staff, its caregivers, who are also celebrating a very big month this month in November, who lead the mission each and every day. And Elisa, can you go ahead and tell us what that month that you're excited about is and what you guys have been doing?
Oh, of course. Thank you. So again, my name is Annalisa Martinez.
Move that mic up there close to you.
I'm the director of the program here, our Community Support Services program. And this month is National Caregivers Appreciation Month. And so, it was actually on the 15th, and we celebrated our caregivers. We're very grateful for them. We're very thankful for them and the services that they provide to our clients. They're the boots on the ground. They're the ones that keep everybody going, to appointments, getting them out into the community, providing them the daily supports and services that they need. Of course, every day,
24/7. This doesn't stop. There's a holiday, but they're not taking a day off. No, there we have. How many caregivers do you think we have in Tresco right now?
So right now, our department consists of 124 employees, and I would say about 100 of those are direct support personnel.
Now, this
are the caregivers.
Okay, so 24/7, 124 people. You got to keep the clock rolling. How many the caregivers on a given day? How many people are they helping out throughout the day?
So, it just depends on their need. So if they have a high need, high acuity level, then we may have a direct support personnel, which we refer to them as DSP. We may have one-on-one ratio. Or if it's, one of our homes that, let's say, has 3 people living together and they may not have as high of a need, we may have 1 employee with 3 clients.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
So it's just depending on what their need is.
And this must be a process to become a caregiver. How does that break down? How does one become a caregiver to work here at Tresco?
So we do have a robust training program.
I can imagine.
For sure. I want to say the training consists of about 130 hours of training. And so that includes, of course, state training that Tresco provides our personnel, and then also shadowing on the job.
A lot of shadowing. I'm going to say there's got to be an extensive amount of hours of training that goes into this.
Yes, definitely, because we want to ensure that all of our staff are well trained. Of course, each client has their own plans that are specific to them. So they have their individual service plans. which outlines all of the services that they have, everything that they need. We also have healthcare plans. And so those are written and implemented with the help of our nursing staff. So we have a team of nurses that also help ensure that our clients are happy and healthy. And so the staff have to be trained on all of those processes. In addition to that, we have outside entities, which would be SLPs, PTs, OTs, occupational therapists, behavioral therapists, that all work to keep the individuals happy and healthy and, getting the services that they need. So our staff have to be trained on all of those.
I would say that next to most of a primary education, of a high school diploma, and whatever secondary education came out, most caregivers, when you say this process, are also understanding that this is also a training process. This helps them out for future as well, because once they're here as well, or some unfortunate circumstance comes where they have to move, they are prepared, ready to go, thanks to this training that's been put together.
Exactly. So with the extensive training, and then also working with people with high medical needs.
And I can only imagine, following federal and state rules on this, it's got to be a little bit of a challenge for any caregiver.
It is.
And how about you in your office getting all the memos every time and emails when things change? That must be something interesting.
Yes. And it's funny that you mentioned the memos, but yes, we get those memos, they pop up, and, we have to implement them immediately. And
you have to communicate this to 127 people?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we have
your phone must be real busy.
We're busy. We keep things going. And again, like you said, it's the 24-hour services, but at the end of the day, it's our caregivers that we're so grateful for, that keep us going, keep us informed. They're the ones that are with the clients, 24 hours a day. And so they relay that information to us as managers, directors, and then also with the nursing team, because they have to let the nurses know what's going on.
Wow.
Immediately with the client. And so there's a lot of communication that goes on.
We're going to get to know Annalisa Martinez a little bit, like always, as we've been explaining throughout these podcasts. This is not a news type segment scenario where we're asking questions, going what's in, and we're going to be going to too much in the state rules and laws. I'm just saying, I must imagine that being in the position, just from what we're hearing from you now, you're constantly having to keep up with so many trending things and things changing so much. So it must be, and if you even went back from your rules years ago, you'd probably be like, oh, look at where we've come now.
Right.
And especially because of a pandemic as well, that certainly has changed too, hasn't it?
It has.
How scary was it last year, by the way?
The pandemic, it was, something that none of us have ever gone through. And so we had to communicate well with each other. We had to ensure that we were up to date with our standards and policies and procedures. And then, of course, everything that was coming out from the state, the CDC, the governor, and communicate with our leadership team. You had a podcast earlier with Chris Boston. And so, he's always on top of the information and what's coming out and the latest guidance. And so we have had to ensure that we're in compliance with all of that always. And
raise the mic up there just a little bit more. You go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And so yes, with COVID, I mean, we, the entire nation was saying to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
Stay home, stay away from each other, quarantine. And for our department, we said, but come to work. We have to take care for our clients, And so at first it was kind of hard because we quickly learned we're essential.
Very much.
We quickly learned that. And so we're essential. And so, our direct care staff, our caregivers, they were, communicating with us daily on issues that they were having, stuff that they were seeing going on in the homes, their fears, which we had to talk that out with them and work through those processes. But ultimately, our caregivers really knew, I have to go to work, the person that I work with needs me, and they ultimately, they all did, they knew they needed to continue to work, and they knew that our clients still needed to go to doctor's appointments. They still needed to get their medications. They still needed to, they still needed the service. And so it really was, we were able to see how resilient our team was. I think resiliency was our phrase of the year.
Well, I applaud your team. There's a lot of people then, 127, that worked really hard to get through this. And I can only imagine the frustration, the toll, trying to follow the rules, PPE products, how many masks, how many times you're going to, I can almost imagine sanitizer bottles were gone a lot by everything that you had to do just for any care. But if this care isn't happening and your essential part isn't going, this is not a good scenario. It could be very scary, wouldn't it?
Right.
Wow. I want to get to know you a little bit more. How long have you been with Tresco?
So I've been with Tresco 14 years. It was 14 years, October 1st.
Wow.
Yes.
And well, so your role more likely is, like you said, a very supervisory role. How many people? You have 127 people you're responsible for, but I'm sure you have a great team that helps you keep with that.
Right. So being the director of the program, I oversee, right now we have a manager, we have our team of nurses, 4 nurses right now on board. We have CMAs that help with tracking medications, ensuring all of our medications are in and getting into the homes. We have a team of supervisors that supervise our caregivers directly. And so, and then of course we have some other, various office staff, billing coordinators, stuff like that. And so we have 80 clients right now. And so we have 70 clients here in Las Cruces and then 10 in Socorro.
Wow. And then, but
so we oversee all of that, standards, regulations, everything.
Something tells me that's just the start. I think there's more growth coming. Is that what you're probably anticipating from other counties as well?
We are hoping. We're hoping. Yeah. We
New Year's coming up, right? Yeah. Like you said, that must change.
Right. And we, of course, would love to continue to see growth and continue to provide more services to more clients, because ultimately that's what we're here for.
I see more growth as very much a positive thing in our community, because the more people we can help and, live meaningful lives and do these jobs that need to be done. That's great. Mm-hmm. Why do you love doing this job? Why do you do it?
I love working here. I started out in the Children's Services Department. And so I started out working with our children birth to 3 with developmental delays. And then I started doing quality assurance. I became the quality assurance manager. I did that for about 6 years. Then I worked my way up to assistant director of the program that I'm in now. And now I'm the director. So I've been doing that for almost 2 years. And, I think one of the things that I really, really enjoy about Tresco is seeing our clients and even the children, just continue to grow and be happy and healthy and learn different things and get out into the community and work, and have meaningful activities, meaningful days. They're able to work and have an income and, go out, on various trips. We have a client that just came back from Las Vegas.
Wow.
And so,
yeah, I can understand.
Our staff were, signing up to take him over there to Vegas.
Okay. Who gets that assignment?
That's also an opportunity for our staff, and the staff that went with him to Vegas. He actually said, I would never have this opportunity, and they went to a football game.
The Raiders?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, yes, our caregivers are supporting our clients, but we also get a lot from our clients.
Well, let's talk about the services that are provided. What services do you provide? There's obviously something like this, but there's more to it than that.
Right. So the main services that we provide are supported living. And so that's where we support our clients in their homes. And, again, it would depend on what their need is, but we can help them from, 24 hours a day, first thing in the morning, everything that they would need, getting up in the morning, medications, getting ready for the day, going out into the community, getting them to work, so those would be our supported living services where our staff are supporting the client in their home.
Great. Goals. You look ahead and you're coming up to a new year. What is going to be the goals for your department next to possible big growth that could be coming? Right.
Just continue to grow, continue to provide good quality supports and services, continue to meet our mission here at Tresco. Reach as many people as we can, providing supports and services, and continue to hire DSP, because they really are the ones that keep everything going.
I'm kind of new. So what does DSP stand for?
DSP is our direct support personnel, which would be our caregivers. Yes.
So that means that people were to go online. I'll bring up the website again, trescoinc.org. Where would they find out the information to go there to sign up?
So it would be under the employment opportunities.
Employment opportunities. That's what it seems to be everyone's favorite one every time we go here. So I'll go to employment opportunities. And so if you're looking for DS, this is where they would be finding out all the information.
Yes, the direct support personnel.
All right. It comes up in here a second, and it'll load up there in a sec. And so you'll find everything there. And of course, there's your boss right over there. So yes. There's Chris. And then you'll find it under current openings. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
And it's just that simple. This is a quick visit to the website, something we always want to point out here. So therefore, everyone knows that when this is when you see this here is right there, and then there's all the jobs that are available that are going to be part there. Once again, if you're tuning in, this is our program that you're tuning into right now is the Mesilla Valley News Tresco Works program. We're here with Annalisa Martinez. She is director of the community services. And I also wanted to ask you about services activities. What other activities do you guys get to do? I mean, you mentioned one going to a place that I don't think, is amazing, Allegiant Stadium, that whole area. What other activities do you guys get to do? What other stuff?
So, I mentioned the supported living. So that's one of our services. And our other services would be what we call our day services, not to get into too many confusing acronyms, but our day services. And so with our day services, that's where we have the opportunity to take our clients out into the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we have our clients that like to go out into the community. They can go out in a group setting or, one-on-one. They're out in the community doing various activities, whatever their team or the individual has decided they want to do. And it's one of those things that's determined, by their plan and by their needs and stuff. But one of the cool programming things that we've recently done is social sessions. And so what that is it gives us the opportunity to have our clients socialize with each other. And so we're still, being safe with COVID and making sure that we're following all of those rules and
but that
guidance.
really helps with mental health, wouldn't you say, to have that in person, because we've been so long. I mean, here we are with 30 cameras on us right now. And we're sitting here like, what? Oh, we're so used to this now. Before 2 years ago would have been different, wouldn't it? But now but to have that in-person part and where the clients can meet each other, that's great.
Right. And because all of our clients were used to seeing each other in day hab before anyways, before the pandemic hit. And so it's an opportunity for them to have in-person sessions. For us, Halloween is huge here. So we had tons of events for Halloween. We had, trick-or-treating and, everything was outdoors and safe. We had sugar skull decorating for Dia de los Muertos.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then we still have the opportunity for them to do virtual sessions. And so, for example, we do one that recently comes to mind is a chemistry experiment that we had. So we made sure that it was safe and that we provided the materials for a chemistry experiment for everybody to do at home, but they could log on and see each other. And it's nice to see that because they recognize each other and you can see them, waving in the camera because they miss each other.
How hard was that to see that from last year to this year? I mean, this year had to be just to be at that moment as you're heading into National Caregivers Month in November. How did that feel to see that compared to what you saw a year ago?
It's great. It's just awesome to get back to some normalcy.
Yeah, no, but I can only imagine
only for us, here, with the oversight and providing the services, but for the clients that you can see that they're getting comfortable with, okay, I can get back to normal, and also with our employees, with our caregivers giving that service.
I think that's very important because I can only imagine, like I said, I mentioned mental health, but that's everyone's mental health. That's every person, being locked up so long, having to follow these rules, everything else, it could drive anyone insane. And to see that they were able to have that, I can only imagine how all the caregivers, you must have been looking at some of them where they're staring, had to be happy and excited.
Right. And it was nice to see everybody because we have all changed.
You're like, well,
a little more stressed out.
Yeah, little.
But we've all changed because we hadn't seen each other in so long. But yes, it was very nice, to get those social sessions going. And so we've been really proud of that programming.
If you want to be a caregiver, we've put the website up there again, and I'll show it there in a little bit as well. Take me through the day in the life of a Tresco caregiver. What does that look like? What is that like?
So, like I mentioned earlier, depending on, what shift they're working, but it can be, getting up with the clients early morning, getting them ready for the day, getting breakfast ready, helping them with medications, and depending on what the individual has planned for that day, getting them out into the community, getting them to doctor's appointments. That is one big piece that we have, is we have to ensure that our clients are getting their medications, of course, and getting to doctor's appointments. So just this past year, we ran, and by running, we mean taking our clients to their appointments. We had over 2,000 appointments in 1 year.
Wow.
Yes.
It's a lot of driving.
It's a lot of driving. It's a lot, we provide transportation as well. So our DSP and again, that's our caregivers. Our caregivers are taking them to their doctor's appointments. They're there relaying the information about what's going on, what follow-up do we need, and getting that information back to nurses. So nurses know what happened in that doctor's appointment and what follow-up is needed. But over 2,000 appointments in 1 year. Mm-hmm.
That's an amazing amount of work, and that's a lot of people putting into that. And I know we would like to say thank you to each and every one of them. If we did that, we'd be here all day. So I will let you get to your staff part and the most important people that work that. But there's a lot of great people that have done this, and I'm sure there's some that during the pandemic, for whatever reasons, had to move out or had to lose. So whenever you lose somebody, I'm sure that's a tough one, but that's an impact that means a lot. And when you leave because of whatever reasons, that's a tough thing. And I'm sure that you and the other caregivers have worked pretty well when people come and go sometimes. Am I correct on that?
Yes. Everybody has to pick up the slack. And so if even if somebody calls in sick, if they're not able to make it to their shift, the other staff are there to cover those shifts and to ensure that there's coverage, because like I said, our staff just know that our clients need us and they need the service and they need the care.
I know you talked about Halloween. Is there another instance about a certain caregiver or somebody that you could explain to the audience out there so they would know what an impact it makes, and any specific story that you like to tell people about one of your caregivers that has gone above and beyond?
I think we see this all the time, and weekly we have meetings where we recognize each other. We recognize our direct care staff for going above and beyond. It can be something as simple as relaying some information about the client to the doctor, or going above and beyond when some of the other staff were not able to come in and they stepped in and covered a shift. Or advocating, that's one of the big things that our caregivers are. They're huge advocates. And so they know the client better than anybody. And so they're advocating for services. They're advocating if any changes are needed. They're often the voice of the client. If they're able to recognize just in their demeanor, something's not right. I think they might be getting sick, or they didn't eat all of their lunch. I'm going to relay this information to the nurse immediately, because they work with them every day and they know those signs because they know them so well.
On this month, especially with being recognized for caregivers, I'm going to ask who got the caregiver of the month this year. Who was there? Somebody you acknowledged, or was it a weekly one that you acknowledged? Is that?
We recognize people weekly at our case contact meeting, which that's a meeting where we all get together and discuss.
That must be one big conference room bigger than this one. I'm going to
do it virtually.
Virtually. Okay. Well, then there you go. You bought the Zoom.
Nice,
that's the 500 people.
Still look up information and make sure we have everything ready for the meeting. But, I don't recall exactly who we had. We recognize people weekly though, I think, like I said, one of the big events that we had was for Halloween. And I think we recognized everybody that attended that event, because people were, dressed up. We had, they had blood dripping from their mouth. We had a lot of people just dressed up really awesome and participating in our events. And we had the Halloween music going. We had trunk or treat out here in the parking lot. And so it was just really nice to have everybody here and running around.
Is it safe to say caregiving, if you're looking for a job, you can go to the website, you can sign up for a job. This is a career. This could be life. This could be a lot of people. What's the oldest caregiver you have working for you right now, and how many years they've been doing it?
The oldest caregiver that we have, I want to say we're right up at 25, 26 years.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And do they see it as a career?
They do. And, they've always said that they're here for the individuals. They're here for the clients, because they know how much of an impact they make on our clients' lives daily.
I think it's safe to say how society changes, and you have different groups, millennials, Gen Zers, Gen Xers, everything such, that they all seem a certain way to work at. But one thing's for certain, there's a lot of people who feel like, okay, I can go work at a job regular. And I respect people who go day to day, work in an office, do anything such. It's all part of what they want to do. If they find it meaningful, that's great. But when it's a caregiver, like I said, you saw a Halloween party, that's the moment you live for. That's the moment that makes your life feel like it has a lot of purpose. Do you see that a lot? That's why a lot of people want to do this job and be a part of it?
We do. Of course, it is an extremely hard job, talking about, knowing medical issues, and then the training piece that we have to go through, and
Security,
the hours can be hard,
Yeah.
sometimes because it is 24 hours. But I think the payoff that our DSP get from our clients is what keeps them going.
Wow.
It's very rewarding for them. And, and we even get calls just from our staff or pictures from our staff of things that they're doing that we didn't even ask them to do. They're going out and doing cool activities on their own, or, because they have such a good relationship with the clients, they know that every Friday, they want to go and do certain things. And so they send us pictures of those, and it's really awesome. And they say it's truly rewarding for me.
That's the part that people need to know. If you're going to do this is, if it's monetary and you want to have likes and cryptocurrency, then maybe you need to go into a whole different route. But if this is something actually truly that you're looking in your life and you're seeing where I'm going to make an impact and change, this is where it can be done.
Exactly.
And that means that helps out our community. That's why it is part of the community service part that you do. We're glad that we get a chance to do it. I want to wrap up just on a couple of more things just real quick. If people really are, again, interested in joining Direct Support Professionals and becoming one, how do they do so again?
Oh, they can go to our website.
I'll bring that up here.
Yes, they can go to our website and the information is on there. We have it posted for our Las Cruces office. And then, of course, we also have openings in our Socorro office. And so that is posted right up there on our current job openings on the Tresco website.
All right, so there it is. As you can see, TrescoInc.org. I also want to point out the phone number, which is 575-528-2200. I'm going to start having this memorized pretty quick. Anything else you want to add about CSS and caregivers as a whole? And of course, as we head up to the Thanksgiving part as well, a lot of these folks, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, they're not going to be with their families on Thanksgiving. They're going to be working. And they're going to be helping out. So I'm sure you're probably going to take some time to go deliver some meals and make sure that they're all good. Am I correct on that?
Yes. So we are actually working on turkey baskets right now.
All right.
Yes. So
and what's in those turkey baskets? I gotta ask.
Everything.
Like what? Like, just give me some examples.
Oh, I mean, of course, the turkey, stuffing, cranberries, rolls. We'll make sure that they have.
Is there a phone to keep them up to date on the Dallas Cowboy game? So they know when they're beating the Raiders. Just kidding. Don't know which team you are. Raiders fan?
No, I'm not a Raiders fan, and I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Packers?
I am.
You see it. Yeah, it's either that or San Francisco. So yeah, that would have been my next. You're gonna go do this on your day, on that Thursday.
We're gonna make sure they have everything ready. We actually have our staff already asking, hey, do we go buy this on our own, or should we make sure that how are we gonna get the fixins for them? How are we gonna make sure they have everything? And so
you're gonna be cooking and delivering.
Yes, I can be cooking and delivering if needed. Yes.
Family? Have any kids?
I do.
How many?
I have 2 kids.
Do they ever see you?
Yes.
I can only imagine with the work that you have to do that, finding time for them is. Who are some of the staff members you think? Who are some of the people that really help you out and they're right there with you, your right-hand people?
All of our office staff, they all go above and beyond. I think a lot of it is the communication piece. We all know that we need a break sometimes. And so we make sure that we have an on-call process. So there's a nurse always available and there's a supervisor always available 24 hours a day. And then they rotate that. So of course, so they can get a break as well. But we have our excellent office staff. I have Stacey Valdez, my manager. She's my right-hand lady. And, she supervises all of our supervisors directly. We have billing coordinator, Belle Avalos. We have our nursing team, Anna O'Connell, Candy Medina, Mike Guerra, and Erica Hom. We have our CMAs, so everybody is ensuring that everything is ready and prepared for after hours. So that way they can take a break, during those off hours. But of course, stuff comes up.
And go watch the Cowboys win. Okay, there you go. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for doing this. And I knew you thinking this would be a quick 5 minutes or so. I'm not even tell you how long we spoke, but this was important because like we said, we're not here timing it. This is not a news type segment where I'm going to ask questions about rules and stuff. This is about telling exactly what we wanted to hear here today is how people can be involved. And this is something you want to do. It's available there. The resources are there, TrescoInc.org or 575-528-2200. That is the number you can reach as well. And like I said, it's the impact. It's a career, not a job.
Right.
And that's the most important part. And
it really is. Thank you. I thank you for this opportunity.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you as well. We thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, make sure to go online to trescoinc.org. You can also call 575-528-2200. You can also reach me on the social media platform, Twitter, at Ernesto Garcia LC. As always, I want to thank you for your time and have yourselves a great holiday season on Thanksgiving. And we'll be back with you down the road.